Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, Root Work with Shamina. Today we are going to be talking about the third eye chakra. This is by far the most spiritual, enlightening of all the chakras. And I really was excited to do this video. I'm not sure what's going to come out, so we're just going to roll with it. But it is located between the brows. That is where the entrance of the third eye chakra is. The idea behind it being the third eye is the fact that it helps you to see past and beyond your physical sight. The things that we know to be true in this world, the things that we've seen with our two physical eyes, have many different dimensions, many different layers. And these layers cannot be seen with just our physical eyesight. We need to tap into our spiritual self, our spiritual sight. And that is where this third eye chakra comes in. This third eye chakra is connected to our psychic abilities. It is connected to our sense of intuition and sense of knowing the truth and the mysteries that exist here. When this chakra is closed, many people will talk about the unconscious and the conscious people. And that's the easiest way to kind of get you to understand this third eye chakra and how it affects us here on earth. There are two things. The unconscious people live a life that is very cardinal. They believe what they see to be true. They believe what they are taught. They basically eat what they are fed. If you tell them that the sky is blue, then they believe the sky is blue. They don't question. They don't look beyond. They accept exactly what is for what is being presented to them. And then we have what is called the conscious mind. The conscious mind is a person who has accepted that there must be more in life. And in accepting that, they've asked spirit and they've asked their ancestors to help them open their third eye so that they might be able to see the mysteries and the secrets and the truths of this world. They want to know the true value of life. When you are unconscious, you are not interested with the true value of life. You're just interested in value. So you don't want to know that maybe that there's a possibility that your religious beliefs may not be the only way to salvation. You don't want to know that there's a possibility that your relationships and that even your worst enemy could very well be connected to your transcension into this life, that your worst enemy could be your best friend in the spiritual form, helping you to move to your next level. That is a very mature way of thinking that many people are not ready to accept. They would rather believe in traditions and cultural norms. They would rather stay in the box that they have created for themselves, the box that the world has deemed acceptable, and they don't want to go against the grain. Conscious people, in a world of a conscious mind, there is no grain. It is not about swimming upstream or, with the stream. It is about understanding the entire pond. You want to know what's in the entire pond, let alone, going with it. You want to know what you're in. You want to know what this is. You want to know what all the life forms that are in that pond. So you see, it's a bigger way of thinking. And it's a way of saying, I accept that what I might hear may change my world dramatically. And that is a big part of opening your third eye chakra. That is why when you search on YouTube, you'll see hundreds of videos saying, before you open your third eye chakra, do this, or be careful. And they make it towards where they make it seem like it's something to be afraid of. But the truth of the matter is, the reason why it's so scary is because it will transform the way you see everything that you once believed in. It removes the rose-colored glasses from your life. It lifts the veil of programming that this world has put in place. And so when you decide to open your third eye, it's just that, a decision. And that's one of the things that I really loved about my spiritual practices and my spiritual journey, is that when I used to be a part of a religious group, and when I was a part of, I was a Christian at one point, and when I was a part of that religious group, a big part of surviving in that group is that you must believe what you are told. You don't necessarily have to experience it at first, And not at all, really, because most of us, our spiritual foundations, if you were born in Christianity or under another religion, you were taught that before you even had the ability to give it life yourself. Before you had the ability to choose to accept it, you were taught that this is what you are, that this is what we believe. So it's a very hand-me-down traditional kind of thing. What I love about spirituality is that this is all choice. This is all choice. From the moment you decide to say there's something more, you're choosing to say, I believe that there's got to be something more to this life, that I can't be the only one thinking the way I think and living the way I live, that there's got to be more to all the stories we've heard. There's got to be more to, this thing called spirituality. And that right there is the first choice. Once you make the next choice, which is to ask your ancestors, to ask spirit, to ask God to show you what the misconceptions are, show me the truths of what I'm really living in and what I could be living in. Now that's where it gets scary, because that's a big choice. That could change the way you look at your spouse. That could change the way you look at your jobs. That'll change the way you look at your education. It will change the food you eat. It will change the people you hang around, the clothes you wear, the money you make, the way you spend your money. It's a rippling effect. Once you realize what this stuff really is, and its true value, your whole metric system in your world changes. And that is why those videos on YouTube will tell you, be careful, beware, don't change, don't open your third eye if you're not ready, because it'll have people thinking you're crazy. If you live in a world where 90% of the people in your world are people who are what I call in the matrix, these are people who are accepting this life for what they see for the face value, and you come along and now you want to start telling them and talking to them about how, technology, and you want to talk to them about the true meaning behind religion, and you want to challenge people's sense of self, be careful. Be careful, because somebody might have you committed to a crazy house. And that's just the realisticness of this dynamic. We are in a world now where we are all beginning to wake up to a certain extent. And so it's a little bit more acceptable to be different. And I say different in quotations because that's what they call people like myself, or like those of you watching this video who have accepted a different spiritual path, who are walking the path of spirituality and not necessarily religion, who are getting connected to their indigenous spiritual practices, that which existed long before anything else existed. Many of us at one point were looked at as crazy, demonic, devils, burned at the stake, called witches, all kinds of things, because people feared what they couldn't understand. And so when you begin to open up your third eye chakra, you need to understand that although they're not burning us at the stake, although that maybe some people are not, blatantly walking up to people and casting them down with their words because they're fearful, they are still very much persecuting the different. They're persecuting people who think different. And you have to guard your knowledge very, very closely. Your own family will turn their backs on you. Your children, your spouses, in relationship, this causes tremendous conflict because you're looked at as crazy. Oh, you're always making everything so spiritual. You're always thinking too deep about this. These are the type of things you'll hear in a relationship when you're dealing with someone who has accepted the matrix as their reality. They do not have a desire to shake that up, because when you shake that up, when you realize that I've been to school for a master's, a doctorate, you did over 14 years of college to realize that ain't nothing but a piece of paper. To realize that it means little. It means nothing. Grass that grows in the backyard means more than that piece of paper that you have hanging on your wall. A grape on a grapevine is worth more to you than that piece of paper. That is tremendous. And not many people want to hear it. And I'm a good person to talk to about it only because it does conflict. When I opened my third eye chakra and it began to open for me, it was ignited by a relationship that I'm in. And when he started to tell me about little things that he thought, just questioning, that's all. It really just starts with questioning. That's really how it opens. Your third eye is stimulated by questioning. And it's no secret and it's no surprise that in many religious beliefs, they shy away from questioning. It's almost a sin to question matters of the spirit, to challenge matters of the spirit. It's more of a eat what you're fed. But your third eye is stimulated by questions. And as they begin to ask these questions, I begin to do my own research about these questions because I'm a person who doesn't like to fear things. If I fear it, I almost want to keep messing with it until I can either digest it and say, okay, I just don't like it, or, oh, I was wrong about it and there's nothing to be scared of. I don't like to fear something and just put it away, and for the rest of my life, somebody can hang it over my head as a fear. I don't like that. I think that's, to me, I believe that's where weakness is. And I just don't like that. I want to face it. I want to see it. So I began to look into the questions, and certain things started to make sense and some things didn't. And then I began to ask, show me the true value of this life. Show me the things that I hold on and I hold to so dearly. Show me what they really mean. And I was shocked by the fact that I had no desire to have certain things, to need certain things. We can work towards them. We can want them all day. But in an instant, I am able to understand the true value of these things. And that is what the third eye chakra is about. Am I saying in no way, don't achieve your goals, don't go to school, don't do this, don't have jobs, don't start businesses? Absolutely not. As African American people, you better be thinking about something to do something to keep us at a certain level in this thing called life. But in everything that you do, please understand that it is just a means to an end. That the quickest they give it to you, they can take it away from you. And the true essence, learning what it really means, helps you stay strong, helps you keep that perspective. This life is not about the type of cars you can drive. It ain't about how much you make per year. It's not about how many houses you have. Because when it really hits the fan, when things really start to happen, you really realize how insignificant these things are. They're so insignificant that they're so easily acquired because they drop off just that easy. Everyone's saying, oh, you got to work so hard. Do you realize that most of the elites in this world may talk down about people like myself and other people who are into spirituality? But in the reality of the situation, that many of the elites in this world have used magic and spiritual manipulation to their advantage for years. They have stolen the indigenous, melanated African American culture and manipulated and used it to their benefit for years. They know the truth in the chakras. They know about how to work with spirit. They know about conjuring. They know about working with your ancestors. They know about offerings, and they know about honoring the spirit. They know about spirit guides. This is not anything new to them, but they'll tell you that it's wrong. They'll tell you that it's bad when it's in your blood. It came from your essence. And so when we begin to understand the third eye chakra, you have to know that this is a choice to see truth. It is a choice to see reality. You still have to live in the world and participate in the matrix. You may still have to work a job. You may still go to college. You may still achieve worldly goals. But better believe, on the flip side of that, as you open your third eye chakra, it keeps you leveled. It keeps you grounded with spirit, that at any moment, if you have to let those things go, you're able to let them go very easily with the security of knowing that it was all a game anyway. You don't hold on to the things of this life so tight, because when you drop and when you lose it, you realize that it's not a loss. The gain is the lesson that you learned. The gain is the fact that your spirit guides are still guiding you, and they're showing you through the lessons that they teach you. When bad things happen and you lose worldly possessions, you almost begin to rejoice because you understand that, oh, this is something I'm learning. This was a life lesson. They got their hands on me. They're congregating in my best interest, and they are shaking my world up, which means that they're very present in my life. So I just look forward to regaining it again in a different way, because it all comes back. Nothing is lost unless you lose it in your mind, unless you say you lost it in your mind. Once you tell yourself you lost it, then that's your reality. You are the governor of your life. And so when you're dealing with somebody whose third eye chakra is closed in relationship, whether it's family, romantic relationships, it's very hard because you are operating again on a higher frequency. You are seeing that, hey, this money doesn't mean anything. This job doesn't mean anything. I go here and I do this because this is what we got to do here. We're abiding by the laws of this land, but it can't make you. And that's where it gets funny. That's when you're with somebody and you notice that every gift, every time they have something in their pockets, when money is good, when life is good, they're good. And when it's gone, they're terrible. And you're constantly trying to appease this person or rebuild this person because they're too connected to the worldly pleasures. They're too connected to it. And as African American people, we can't afford that anymore because we see how this world does us. We can see how it does us. 1 minute, it'll give one person $1 million and it'll have another person eating in the streets. And so if your third eye is not open and you don't recognize what's really happening here, then you are constantly being pushed and toiled and turned every which way. Your joy is being snatched from you every other day. And that's what it's really about. Understand the game that you're playing. Give it the value that it deserves. And just keep on living. Don't be a sloth. Don't sit there. Don't be a person who's not a self-starter. I'm a person who loves businesses. I love self-starting. I love seeing something go from nothing to something. But I also recognize that same going from nothing to something, it's got to happen in the spiritual realm first before I even see anything in the natural. And that's what the third eye is about. It's scary because it will transform your life. The people you used to like, you'll look at them and you won't be able to stomach them anymore. The friendships you used to have, you'll see the manipulation in them. You'll begin to see their purpose in your life. And sometimes they don't serve a purpose. And so you'll lose friends. It's a lonely walk when that third eye begins to open because not everyone can nurture it. And in relationships, the simplest thing that I can say is that many of them don't survive the third eye chakra opening. Once your third eye chakra has opened, it just doesn't survive. Point blank, period. In all the other chakra videos we've talked about ways that you can kind of bring your partner up to speed. But with this third eye chakra, it is so different in the sense that there is nothing you can do to open your partner's third eye. It is a 100% choice to show me what the true value of life is, to show me the programming and the secrets and the mysteries that have been hidden in plain sight in this life, because that's what has been done. They've taken truths and manipulated it and hid it and hided it, and they've mixed it in with some other stuff and fed it back to you. And so if you want to know the truth, it's there for you to learn, but you have to choose yourself. So you can sit there and work on yourself all day, and you can open your third eye, and your partner, instead of learning from you, may be afraid of you. They may turn around and become afraid of you. They may fear, everything about you, what you're doing, because they don't know. It looks scary. It looks challenging. It looks like you're trying to shape things that were good. Why are you trying to make things ungood? If that's a word, why are you trying to shake things up? Everything was good between us. And they don't understand where this change in you is coming from. So it's really a personal thing. What I would do in this situation is consult your ancestors. Now that your third eye is open, I would consult your ancestors. Put things out into the spirit, that their spirit guides would reach out to them and begin to work with them so that there's no more fear, so that they don't fear what they don't understand, and that they can understand that this life is an experience. That's all it is. When the experience is over, it's over. Just like a roller coaster ride. You can't survive on a roller coaster ride forever. You cannot. That roller coaster experience is going to begin to change every time you ride it because you know what to expect now. And that's what the third eye is about. It's about getting off the roller coaster because you realize that the same drop is coming at the same time. It's going to, accelerate at the same time. And then it's going to be over. So why waste your life standing in line, getting on the same roller coaster for the same experience? People with their third eye open are always seeking different truths, challenging different ideas, because once you realize something, you can never unrealize it. You can never forget it. You can never go back to the way you were before. You can never pretend that you don't see. You can never pretend that you don't know better. And that is what is so scary about opening the third eye chakra. So truthfully, in relationships, there's not much you can do at all in terms of being with someone who is unconscious, whose third eye is closed. The best thing that you can do is just to, like I said, seek your ancestors, continue to walk your path, and ask your spirit guides if this person is meant to release from your life, that they are released in a way that does not hurt them, in the sense that it doesn't tear their spirit down. Their physical self may hurt. They may be, saddened by it, but they will be released from your life if they're meant to drop off in a way that is kind to their soul. And you continue to live your life. You continue to heal and live your life. That's really all you can do. And if the person is not removed from your life, then it means that eventually they will catch up because they're meant to be there. And that's just how a relationship goes sometimes. Not everything can be fixed. Not every problem can be rectified. You can't always be a good influence on your partner. Some elevations, some growth, some development must happen independently, by themselves. If it's for you, you got to do it on your own. If it's for your partner, they may have to do it on their own. And this third eye chakra is all about that. So I hope that something that I said really helps you understand what the fear is behind opening up that third chakra. It's about seeing clearly. And once you see clearly, there's a responsibility that comes with it, and you can never go back. And I think with all the other chakras, it can either be low, it can either be high, and you can kind of work within the metrics of it. But with the third eye, once you cross the threshold, you can never go back. You can never go back. You can never, ever go back to the point where I don't know anymore. And that, for many people, is the scary part. But it's also the part that once you are free from the social constructs of this world, once you free yourself from this feeling of not being good enough, not falling into the molds that this world created for us, once you realize that, the crazy thing happens. You get almost everything that you don't care about. You get the money, you get the wealth part, you get the stuff and the foo-foo stuff of this world that means nothing because you put it in its proper place. Now there's no more tension around it. There's no more anxiety around it. It flows through you freely because you realize what it is. You don't let it define you. You let it just be what it is. A possession to gather and to give and to throw away and to give back and to lose it and gain it. That's all it is. But you gain the wealth and knowledge of the mysteries. You gain the wealth and knowledge of spirit. You gain the peace in knowing that there is something else and that this isn't it. So the hardships of this life are here as blessings just as much as the wealth, the money are blessings. So I hope it was helpful. I wish you all a prosperous, enlightened, conscious, grounded 2021. And keep your heads up. Keep your heads up and keep working hard towards the goal. And the mark is balance, not perfection. Until next time.